Hey guys, welcome back and welcome to David Austin Roses. I cannot even believe I am saying these words. I have been waiting to come out to their garden for the longest time. In fact, just the other day, I was going through some of my old messages to them, and I remember starting to write them about 3 years ago about coming out and filming a garden tour of their beautiful display garden and looking at all of the roses that they have. We have a lot to cover today. We're obviously not going to focus on every single rose because that would take hours and hours and probably days to do that, but I do want to focus in on a few varieties that I really love and then really focus on the layout of their display garden and then all of the roses that they have to offer here today. So let's go inside and start smelling some of these roses. Immediately when you walk in, you have these beautiful roses on their building here. This one, of course, is always going to be a standout for me. This is Desmona, and it is just the sweetest little rose. It is a white rose with just a touch of blush, and it is a beautiful shrub rose. Off to this side here, this is one of Sergey's favorites right here, Olivia Rose. Look at that beautiful, beautiful English shrub rose. And just all of these are stunning on this side right here. Gertrude Jekyll, English climbing rose. That's a stunner. Oh my goodness. So this is the entryway right over here. And look at this site. Beautiful roses right off the bat. This one here especially, another English shrub. Look at how beautiful that color is. A proper pink blush with a little bit of apricot coming through. All right, when we walk in, you have their gift shop. And of course, they have their handbook, which I am definitely going to pick up a copy because look at how beautiful. Oh my goodness. I could spend hours going through this catalog right here. So definitely going to take one. I love this little display here. This actually shows the new King's Rose, which was just introduced, and we actually got to see it at the Chelsea Flower Show, and it is beautiful. I'm going to show it to you guys here in just a sec, but I love all these little gifts that they have with the rose already. Kind of want to pick up one of those mugs because those are really, really nice. All right, here is the King's Rose. Look at how beautiful this coloring is. I am not really a big fan of like the two-tone again, these like speckled roses, but there's something really special about this one that is actually very, very beautiful. I like that. Here's a quick lay of the land so you can kind of get a glimpse of how their rose garden is laid out. If I look up, look at this view, you guys. Isn't that insane? And look at all of the beautiful potted up roses. I think we're going to start seeing a lot more potted up roses in our gardens. I definitely want to start doing that for sure. So we walk through here and they have more potted up roses. Here is the Emma Bridgewater, which I'm telling you, this is going to be a very, very popular rose. I think everybody's going to want her in their garden. She was introduced last year in 2024, but I think she's just getting a lot of attention this year. Holy moly, look at that. Hyde Hall rose, that is massive. Princess Anne rose, another really beautiful variety. I'm paying attention to also the climbing roses, how they have everything growing against the wall, on structures. That has been a really big theme in a lot of the gardens that we visited. It's just climbing roses alongside buildings, not just structures and arbors, but on the actual building, which I think is really lovely. Another one that I'm becoming a big fan of is this Alexandra of Kent. This one was introduced in 2007. So I think a lot of us are familiar with her, but oh my gosh, the scent is just the loveliest. Over here we have Boscobel. This is also a really beautiful rose that I want to add to our garden this year. And then the generous gardener, I think you guys have mentioned this one a few times to me, really beautiful climbing rose. And look at how the stems kind of take on more of a red tone when they're new, when they're young, I mean. I think that's such a lovely and interesting characteristic of these roses. And just look at that, even with all the petals fallen, look at how beautiful and romantic that looks. I still can't believe that I'm here at David Austin Roses in person, not just on Instagram or online, but in person. Off to the left here, we have one rose garden heading that way, and same on the right-hand side. So we can go a few different directions, but I think I want to go up here, up and down first, and make our way through and check out these other rose garden rooms that they have throughout here. So similar to Queen Anne's rose garden that we toured together, there's a lot of formality in a rose garden. And I actually really like that because I do think roses can get a little bit messy, unruly a little bit. So to have a little bit more of structure and a little bit of rigidness around them, I think works really well and allows them to shine without competing with a lot of other things in the garden, if that makes sense. So here they have the grass pathway coming up and down, and then they have a border around their gardens here and their garden rooms. And now with borders, you can really go any direction. I mean, that's the great thing about hedges now. You don't only have to use boxwoods. There's just so many opportunity to do something interesting. And I'm seeing a lot of that through different gardens that we visited so far. Look at that site all the way down. You're going through roses. Isn't that magnificent? Just look. Oh my gosh. That's lovely. And if you guys are curious, they are using English yew here as their hedging material, which is actually really nice because it has a little bit of a softer appearance to it than like something like a boxwood. This is just a little bit more, I don't know, fluffy to the touch, if that makes sense. And it looks like they carried the yew down here and also up here for some of these taller hedges, and also the tallest one back there. If you guys live in an area that is susceptible to things like blight, this would be a really great alternative to that type of issue. Queen of Sweden, just such a good rose. Such a beautiful rose. This one always seems to have more of an upright structure to it versus like a little bit more, oh, I don't know, a little bit more open. It just seems to grow more upright than some of the other roses. I wish you guys were here because the scent in these gardens, it's something else. I mean, it's better than any perfume I've ever smelled in my life. I'm also taking a lot of mental notes of how they're wrapping some of these roses around different structures. So you can see like this is a pillar here and it's going all the way around. This is obviously a pretty mature rose here. They're using some sort of zip tie. This looks like just a little bit of a metal tie, which is what we typically use in our garden. And it allows us to loosen it if we need to, which is nice. But just look at that. Here's an interesting idea. If you want to break up a garden room, instead of having a hard border, you can create a structure like this. So it almost looks like windows and you can see through, but it's still kind of creating a little bit of a separation between this garden that we're in and then the one right behind it. And then you can use roses to outline those windows that we're, assuming that is what these are in this example. I really like that idea. They have several videos on their site, which I'll link down below, of their whole breeding program. But it's so fascinating how they do everything here. And it takes years and years to breed a rose. But boy, when it comes to market, it is perfection. This garden is so beautiful. I cannot even handle how gorgeous this is. And again, the yew is being carried throughout the whole garden. But look what's going on over here. You have these beautiful pillars with the benches, and you're looking out into the garden. That to me is so royal and beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. This is stunning, absolutely stunning. This garden, you can really see the beautiful tree roses. And oh my goodness, some of these are so mature. Harlow Carr, look at that one. And this feels more of a garden. You can see that they have salvias here, more alliums. I've seen alliums paired all over through the different gardens here in England. Look at how beautiful that looks. This may be my favorite view of the garden so far. So stunning. They have peonies throughout. And again, just the repeating yew everywhere. And here is where they have all of the beautiful roses to be purchased. You can tell there's still quite a bit of plant here, but I'm sure they fill up these spaces every day, and every day they get emptied out like this. But this is really fun to see them all out here as well. Back here is really special. This is the Victorian garden, and this is formal and beautiful, and it just takes my breath away. I've seen pictures of this garden, and how to be in here is overwhelming in like the best way. Look at the arches that they've created that goes right into that center, and it's just perfection. Look at this. This is another example of a proper formal rose garden right here. So perfect. Wow. We just missed their head gardener, but here in the back is where they do propagating and breeding, and all of the magic goes on back there. And there's some really great videos of their whole process that I'll link down below for you guys. But it's just really cool to see it in person like this. And right out here is where they have more of their stock roses. So you can see they pull them through here. These also go out to different garden centers, and then it just continues going on and on to the back. I mean, I love seeing the display gardens, but this is where I get really, really excited, and seeing all of these potted up and just waiting for their permanent home I love that so much. I really wish we would have planned this trip a little bit better because I would have loved to meet the head gardener. And if you are listening, David Austin, head gardener, I think it's Maggie. Let's talk because I'd love to be back to do an interview with you because it is so magical back here. I wish I would have planned this trip out a little bit better, but we just didn't think we were going to have the time, but we were kind of being spontaneous and we came out anyway. And I don't regret it, but I regret missing the head gardener today. All right, guys, that will wrap it up for today's garden tour. I know I have been dreaming about coming here for such a long time and I couldn't not bring you guys along. I know it was a quick tour, but I just, again, wanted to show you guys what this place looked like, experience it together for the first time. And I am just so inspired now by roses more than ever before. And oh my gosh, I don't want to leave. It's so beautiful. It's so romantic here. And I'm just happy that I got to bring you guys along for a quick walk through this whole garden together. Thank you guys again for hanging out with me today in the David Austin Rose Garden. And I will see you guys in our next video. Bye-bye.